And we are looking at assignment 7, red balloons. Always a challenging assignment and always fun to see how many different ways people can shoot red balloons. Just as on the Thursday webinar, I'm going to put out a bit of a caution thing. Looking at the photographs that we have for this group right here, uh, this is a warning, not a current situation. Uh, Look at the level of creativity that we have over here and commitment. I mean, it's just huge. There's a burnout factor that starts happening right around, oh, a month or so from now that I want everybody to prepare for. And what will happen, and you'll know it's starting to happen, is that you'll start shooting the assignments on the 6 hours before they're due. When that starts happening to you, please fix it, because we're having a bit of a challenge in the other group, and we're working on fixing that as well. Do not have that challenge here. This work is really top notch. And when I say top notch, I'm talking about the effort that goes into it. Sometimes we put a lot of effort into it and doesn't really work out the way we thought it would, or what have you. But it's the effort that is what this is all about. How many of you read that Petapixel article? I think it came out day before yesterday, called the Photoshop instructor nobody wants to hear anymore, something like that. Anybody? Did anybody read that? Nobody?
Yeah, I read it.
Who was that?
I read it.
Yeah. And who was
Jorge.
that? Who was that Photoshop? Who was the teacher, Jorge, that nobody wanted to hear from anymore?
Experience.
Experience. That's right. Experience. That the seems to be the 800-pound gorilla in the room. So often people want to fast track it. They want to get, don't show me why, tell me how to do this. Where do I put my light to do this? And the experience goes away. And I realized when I read that article that experience is exactly what Project 52 is all about. That's the whole point of this year-long um, endeavor, and I made it a year long on purpose. We could do, let's do a 5 Saturday 4-hour webinars where we talk about all this stuff, and that's great. And after about the first hour, you've lost most people. Their minds are wandering, they're tired, their butt hurts, they don't want to sit there anymore, blah blah blah. And how can you remember 4 hours of information? The old track from getting to be an amateur photographer to a pro used to involve experience. And that experience, and I'm not saying that it can't be found, it's just harder to find because that experience was gained being an assistant. You moved from being an amateur photographer to a photographer, and then you went out and found yourself an assistant job. They paid worth crap, but you learned more in a week than you'd ever learn in photo school. And that real world um, experience was what it was all about. So when I looked at Project 52, I can't teach experience in a weekend. I can't teach experience. I can't, let's put it this way. I can't even teach experience. I can only give experience and give you an opportunity for experience. So we do assignments based on real world situations. We do assignments that push creativity. We do assignments that have layouts that you have to follow the layout, and there's type involved, and it's me helping you get experience. Experience doesn't count once you get lazy. So not a shot across this group's bow, because ain't nobody being lazy here. But just be on the lookout for it, because it can happen. So let's jump in and look at Damien. So Damien went with this. Is that you, Damien, or did you get a buddy to do that?
Yeah, that's me. Unfortunately. It's
very clever shoot. Lots of thought went into this.
Well, it was kind of a reaction to the red balloon shot that I did in the Essentials group, which was very, very literally a picture of a red balloon against the sky. And so this time I wanted to, although it has got a red balloon in it on the far left shot, I wanted to try and take it as far away from obvious as possible.
Well, I have never seen an assignment picture done this way for red balloons. This is you've just staked out your own territory. Red balloon, very, very clever. Keeping the red across the three things is perfect. I really cannot tell you in words how much I love this picture, this left side with this little thing down here. That would make an amazing poster.
Oh, cool.
That's very cool. So how did you light the loon?
It took.
Go ahead.
The loon shot.
No. Tell me, you said you were talking about the red balloon shot there.
Oh yeah. So the red balloon. It took a lot of shots to try and to get that particular image, because it was I got my softbox immediately behind the balloon, and I wanted to try and fill the frame, but not make it blindingly obvious that it was a balloon. But I also didn't want to have any gaps coming through, and it took a lot of shots to try and get to that point.
Absolutely, Andres, I unmuted you. Well, yeah. When I look at that shot, okay, I like it so much because it's so interesting. And like I say, this would be a fantastic portfolio piece for you. It shows creativity. It shows something that we've seen before in a way we haven't seen it. And doesn't it just scream, take your rule of thirds and shove them?
Yeah.
Which I think
it's all smack bang in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what that's my favorite part right there. I'm not a rule of thirds kind of guy. I think that whole rule of thirds thing. As a matter of fact, I read a very convincing article that the whole rule of thirds thing was actually made up. It was actually kind of a joke that started floating around. Now the Fibonacci. Have you seen the Fibonacci? You know what I'm talking about?
The spiral.
The spiral thing. That works pretty well for me. I get that. I really do. But the whole rule of thirds, plus it's not the Fibonacci rule, it's the Fibonacci spiral, and so when anytime anybody calls it a rule, see, I instantly have a problem right there. I don't do rules very well. So I kind of hostile to that whole thing. So I really love that. Very excellently done, Damien. Fantastic. So creative.
Thanks, Don.
Wow. Sally is not with us today. I don't think she is with us. No, she's not with us. By the way, Thad, is your image on here?
I didn't see it last time I checked.
All right, hold on. I have it right here. I was wondering if it was on here. It's a picture. Got it. Hold on. Let me get it uploaded right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a clown with a balloon.
Yes, that's right.
Got it.
Okay.
And also, is Daniel Jafari with us today? Daniel Jafari. He's not with us, but you know what? I'm going to upload his picture anyway because he was not with us on Thursday, and I want to critique it because he did a beautiful job. So let me get that updated. All right. So there we go. So Sally's not with us, but she did want me to talk about her picture. A couple of things, Sally. Our subject is soft. In fact, the whole picture is soft. We're not getting eyelashes, etc., like that. And even though, as you all are aware of, I'm not Mr. Let's make the photographs crisp. I'm much more for the emotion. When it's this far off, it's disconcerting. There's almost nothing in this picture that's sharp. Not even this this metal up front. Anybody see anything? Is there a plane of sharpness anywhere? I'm not seeing it. So I wonder if this is this camera shake? Anybody have an idea? No one?
John, I'm
Looks like
wondering
her
if it's
ribbon. Oh,
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, I thought it looks like the ribbon is sharpish.
yeah. I was going to say the same thing, just above her thumb.
right in here? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah, that's about what I'm seeing too. Yeah.
probably the only thing sharp I see in the picture. Which tells me, Sally, that you probably needed to stop down a little more. That your long lens, and I believe this to be a long lens because it has that feel. Would you all agree this is a telephoto shot? How it's smashing her face up against these. I'm going to venture to say this is a 8200 zoom at 200 because it's really flat. Look how flat the face is. And I love long lenses to do that. But we lost that sharpness. That being said, you've got your red balloons in there, and that's very a great use of the red balloons, using it in a portrait. I think you might have done well to back up a little bit because you're cropping, even for a portrait here, very close. When we crop off the neckline, we're getting, just I don't want, I just got through telling Damien how much I hate rules, and I really do. But there's always rules of thumb, things to think about. And when you cut off the neckline of anybody, whether they're wearing a shirt or what have you, you cut into it that high, you may be cropping too tight. You're going to have a funny feeling to the portrait, a very in-your-face feeling. Not that it's wrong. Not at all that it's wrong. It could be exactly right for what you want. There's a photographer named Platon, Platon, who crops in really extremely tight. And that's part of his style. But the images are kind of disconcerting to look at. They're not portraity. They're very graphic. So double check that, Sally. Red balloons up in the sky, very pretty. Looks like maybe we photoshopped out the Leah. Did we Photoshop out the strings?
No, we actually had no strings.
Oh, how did you get them?
I poofed them up into the sky like you would a volleyball, and then it was luck. And these are actually 3 individual takes that are composited in post.
Ah, okay. And that's the blue sky back there?
Yeah, that's the blue sky. 2 of them had rotated so that the tie was toward me, and I didn't like that so much, so I had to shop in the ties on the bottom of the 2.
Ah, okay. Now let me ask you
But-
something. Is one of these shots actually shot on the blue sky? That would be the back one?
All 3 of them are on the same sky.
On the same sky?
But I removed this guy from 2 of them, and this guy is now put on an independent layer.
It's on an independent layer.
And
Okay.
all 3 of them are removed from the background, so that they're, yeah.
I think
Are you seeing?
I think you need a new sky. I think you need a sky with some little white clouds in it.
Oh,
That
yeah,
is-
I have a lot of clouds.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that.
And be careful, not. Well, try. I mean, do you have like thunderheads? You know, that's what we call them in Arizona. These great big giant. Um,
I do. Past spring, I took days and days and days worth of going out and taking cloud shots because they're so fascinating.
well, they're also great backgrounds. I mean, where are you, Leah?
Eugene, Oregon.
Eugene, Oregon. Okay, so you have lots of gray skies sometimes, right?
Yes,
Yep.
we do.
And having a nice folder full of interesting skies that can be added to whether it's a real estate architecture shot or even a landscape. You know, you get a beautiful landscape and the sky is kind of, you know, bluish gray. Then you can,
Hmm.
you know, you've got those skies to work with. But that's what I think you need on this shot. The blue becomes so blue that it's almost, I mean, it's so flat blue, it's almost blue seamless. In fact, it probably could be easily blue seamless. But when we add the clouds, and you may have to slightly soften the clouds as you would with your depth of field. If had this been shot, you're close to these balloons, right? So there's no way possible that those clouds can be sharp
Okay.
in reality. However, if you made them sharp for your photograph, what would that do? Picture a sharp photograph, a sharp clouds behind this. What does that do? Anybody see it?
Probably detract from the subject.
No, it would turn the balloons into giant balloons. Because since
Oh,
they're
wow,
they're in
yeah.
focus and the clouds are in focus, our brains are going to say they're farther away from us. They're giant balloons. If the clouds are out of focus, they're regular balloons. Interesting, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
all.
very interesting.
Yeah, our eyes
In,
know that. Our eyes will kind of pick that up. Very cool. And then you could put
in fact, I have to.
a little jetliner right here, like flying right in front of that balloon.
In fact, I have to tell you, I was driving around the university area with my son, and I'm not even joking. We saw a guy walking down the sidewalk with a giant balloon as big as his body. And I said, "Oh, I've got to go back and take the shot of that guy." And I turned around and came back, and he was gone, and I was just devastated. So,
Yep.
can you, what are the chances of a guy with a huge balloon walking around when I needed that for an assignment?
Was it red?
It was red, and it was huge. And I was so excited, and I U-turned, and I broke laws on the road to get around back to him, and he was already gone, and it was so.
Well, I am proud of you. Anytime anyone breaks the law to get a photograph, please let me know. That is an extra point or two right there.
No, I probably shouldn't have U-turned right there, but next time I'll be more safe.
Well, next time you're just going to have to start yelling out, "Hey, don't move!"
Yeah, I don't really have the stranger thing down just yet, but I'll get better. It's you know.
There is a photograph.
Anyway, that was.
There's a photograph by Jake Chesham that gave me the idea of the red balloon shot. How am I going to show you guys that? Let me do this really quick because you were talking about the guy with the balloon. I've just got to share this with you. Jake Chesham. Images. Oh, good. We get the wrong set of images on this one. Different set than I got on the PC. It's Chris Rock. And right there. I love that shot. I just love that shot. That was the shot that I saw a long time ago that gave me the idea to do the red balloon assignment. So.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting because no one who's ever done the red balloon assignment has ever done an image like that. Now, I never shared that with anybody, so now that it's on video,
Huh.
but
Yeah, I
nicely done.
tried several different compositions, and this drove me crazy this week.
Well, concept shots do drive you crazy because we have there's no rules, there's no parameters. And so you continue, you're making it up as you go along. So a lot of effort went into that. Nicely done. Nicely done. I love it when you can see the work. Jorge. Interesting
Hello.
color. Yeah, interesting color palette.
That is at the dentist office, and they just had a new addition built, and I love that hallway.
Nice. Now is this
So I was
there's looks like
tossing the
there's
balloon in
windows to the left side?
there. Yeah, there's basically floor to ceiling windows on the left side,
Yeah.
and I was tossing the balloon. She just stepped out to look at one went by her window. So it had that unplanned element to it.
Well, it's
And
perfect.
when I got home and I was going through the shots, yeah.
It's perfect. She takes what would be a kind of a static, but I can surely see why you would shoot this here. It's kind of cool, and then she lends this real dynamic. I mean, her. Did you pose her, or is that just her?
No, she just stepped out. Because they see that little square that's the window into the room.
Yeah.
So she saw this balloon fly by. And I just snapped it really quick.
Her whole demeanor is saying, I'm wondering if I need to call the psych ward. I think. That's very cool. I like the shot. The color palette is so unique as well. The purple and the soft green. Very interesting. So were you there to get your dental work done, or did you just sort of drop in and start throwing a balloon around?
I went in. Took some friends to get their teeth done. And I had seen the hallway before, so I took the balloons and did just randomly start throwing them around. I got some strange looks, but it's okay.
If you're not getting strange looks, you're not working hard enough. Very clever. This is a very clever shot. Very. Her expression is priceless. Absolutely priceless. She's so serene. She's so comfortable. And she's looking right at the red balloon. So, well done, Jorge.
Thanks.
Well done. Oh my gosh, what is this? John McAllister. Is John with us? Oh, come on, John, you got to be here. Oh, he's not here. Oh, man. I'm going to go with some Photoshop. Anybody want to disagree? I'm thinking Photoshop. And wow, you talk about a lot of work. John, this very exceptional photograph. You put so much effort into this. I can't believe it. Wonderfully done.
Hi, Don. In the forums, I think John sort of showed us. He took about 5 or 6 shots, composited it, and then put it together with Photoshop.
Yeah. Well, he had to create a lot of this in Photoshop, just with a shot of a balloon and then twist it and look at the fingers. Wow. I bet this took 5 minutes or more. But this took hours and hours. Nicely done, John. Wow. More like that, my friend. If you're going to be a Photoshop guy, this is the kind of stuff to do. Absolutely. Very clever. I guess this is all John up here. Do you remember? Looks like the same guy. I wonder if it's John.
Yeah, there's several pictures of John. He's got them on the Flickr forum where he shows all the different shots in the Balloon Man and the background
Excellent.
that he photoshopped in.
I think I may go up and grab those and add that Adam to this if he's okay with that. Add it to the site here. It'd be something for people to see. Excellent, beautifully done. Wow. And then we go to this one, which is kind of like Photoshop except done with analog. This is very clever as well. Whose is this? This is Chris Dean.
That's me, Chris.
Chris, what gave you the idea for this? Very clever.
I had this bit of blue card that I'd used for a couple of previous assignments, and I just got to thinking that could be used as a sky, and then I was thinking about what I could do to make it look like the balloons were sort of in the sky, but not, and I thought cotton wool, clouds, and I just thought I'd try it out. So I got some sort of, they're slightly miniature balloons, they're quite small, and yeah, just played around with the lights really. Not totally happy with how the lighting turned out, but it's okay.
There's a photographer. There's actually a style of photography. I want to call it minimalism or flat photography that this works really well with. And take a little second here to pop over here and show you a photographer who shoots that style. Is tabletop something you're really interested in?
Yeah, it's something that I'm sort of enjoying more. I find it quite frustrating because you make so many tiny tweaks, and it still never comes out quite right.
Yeah, you can spend forever doing it. It's one of the for me, it's one of the things that I remember from being a kid, and where I used to build model cars and things. You could just spend months on that car. But see, this is the kind of stuff he does.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very, very flat. Stuff, and of course, these are all for a magazine. So. His name is Adam Voorhees with two O's. Adam Voorhees might be somebody to go up and check out because if I had seen this shot anywhere, first thing I would have thought of is Adam's work, because this is the kind of stuff he would do. It's very, very clever. You're not trying to fake it by floating the clouds. You're saying, oh no, the clouds are sitting right here on this blue paper. There's a shadow below them. Yeah. It's a style that's not very many people doing it, but it's a style that gets used a lot in the magazines. So if it's something you like, Chris, keep at it. Nicely done.
Thanks.
Nicely done. And we have another Chris Aldridge at the beach with his balloon.
Hello.
Hi, Chris. Is that really the size of your balloon, or did you Photoshop that in?
No, that's actually Photoshopped in. This was like a last, I don't know, fourth quarter effort to get a red balloon in the picture because I got rained out a couple times this week.
Wow, this is I like this shot, Chris. I love your little cloud. Can we make the cloud whiter? He's a little... Did you darken the sky? Is that why the cloud's a little bit dark?
No, not intentionally. The beach picture has a polarizer on it, so that's probably why it's a little bit darker than normal.
Yep. Yeah, let's go in and whiten that. Let's just brighten that cloud just a little bit. Bring it up.
This is actually a crop down from a tall picture, and the cloud above that's really bright white. So I didn't even catch that when I pulled down the crop, that might be a little bit better with the brighter cloud.
Yeah, it's just going to give us because the sky is this perfect blue, and then it's just interrupted by that little cloud. And even though there's a tendency for me to think, I don't want that to grab the eye, so to speak. I think it can do a little bit more than what it's doing. As far as the beach shot with the colorful umbrella and the balloon and everything, very clever, very well done. I mean, this is the inclusion of the second umbrella is great. I mean, it gives it a more of a real feeling. This is a fun shot. Where are you that you shot this, Chris?
That's actually in North Carolina, on the Outer Banks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was actually a little worried about the balloon looking a little fake, but I guess, it doesn't look that way if you ask me if that was actually the size of the balloon. So I'm pretty happy with that, because I actually took, and there's a very, very faint layer over that. Well, it's got the flip side of the beach. It's actually the same beach that shows people, but I don't know if it really comes through there or not.
What comes through? The reason I asked is the reflection on this balloon looks like this. And so, if this had been shot in the studio and not well thought through, then you'd have this beach shot here, and then you'd have the balloon with a big old softbox thing here, right?
Yeah, and that's actually where it is.
Yeah, you'd instantly know, that's not there, because there's no softbox in this picture. But with all these little different shadings and stuff, could be clouds in the sky, whatever, it looks like it's reflecting other stuff around it. So could have fooled me with it. If you'd said, no, I got this great big balloon, I would have thought, oh, interesting. Never seen them that big, but
I'm relieved.
a couple of things that I might have, if I'd been the art director, depending on how uptight of an art director I was, I might have said, let's rake the beach to really get to get it so it's perfect up here, and then maybe put one set of footprints coming down, because the beach is a little almost for an ad shot, which this would be an ad shot. I don't see this as editorial. I see this as an ad for something. It could be anything from pharmaceuticals to, a crazy wacky beach shot or something that had nothing at all to do with the product. As an ad shot, this sand back here looks great, but this sand is too pockmarked, and so I would have swept the beach. And then to give some realistic to that, maybe have some footprints coming right from here, going right around here, just to make that part of the beach part of the shot. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Cool. Very cool. Oh, and we've got a still life. Still life with red balloon by Anne. This is interesting.
Yes, hi, Don.
How are you? This is very interesting light, and we have, let me show you what I see when I look at it. What makes it interesting for me is this side of the cup is lit, but this side of the cup is not lit. So it's like, well, where's this light coming from? Then we get on to the background. We've got some light over here. We got a little light, and then it gets dark back here, which I imagine is the shadow of the balloon. But there's some neat things happening lighting-wise on here. Plus, what in God's name is this?
Okay, so I was trying to get some green. That's like a leaf, like a green leaf. So I didn't want it to be all red.
Okay.
So I was trying to bring in the green to make like a contrast. So, and also I was trying to have like the two cups, I wanted them to have like shadows. So the only thing I wanted very bright was the balloon. So that was what I was trying out.
Okay. So how did you achieve this this lit side of the cup and this cup not lit? Because, when I see this, I think side light, right? and yet I know it's not side
Yes,
light
yeah.
because it's not grabbing this. So is this a snood or a grid or something?
No. Okay, so my light is coming from the left, but I think I forgot to put like I have a black card on the left too, on the darker cup.
Uh-huh.
I have a black card, a black
You've got a flag.
card. Yes.
And that's what's causing this right here as well.
Yes, the shadow, yeah.
Okay.
So I also wanted some shadow on the second cup on your far right. But I didn't know quite where to place it.
Well, it would have probably been in front of your lens. See how dark this glass is here? This cup is real dark. That's the reflection of that black card.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
And for you to do that over here would have had to been somewhere in here to get that.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think that the cup being lit up is kind of cool.
Oh.
It really shakes up the eye. Your red balloon is there. Your background, you kept your background real muted and just really flat. Again, a very modern approach to the shot, just like we just saw previously with the balloon and the blue paper. Well done. I'm just wondering, this looks like a wide angle lens. Am I right?
Correct, yes.
And it looks to me like your cups, see, I'm getting it right up to the edge here. Your cups are falling off to one side, not equally.
Okay.
Like it's not quite straight. So are you in Lightroom or Photoshop?
I did both Lightroom and Photoshop.
Okay. Back in
Photoshop Elements.
Okay, that's fine. Back in Lightroom, go down to where you can fix your perspective.
Okay.
And what camera and lens are you using?
I'm using a Nikon D3000 and I think I used two lenses for the shots because it took quite a long time to do. I had a 35 and I had a 15 to 35.
Yeah, I'll bet you this is the 35.
I have 1.8 con.
Mm-hmm. So it's a modern lens. In Lightroom, there you will get down to the place where you do the distortion correction, and it'll say, do you want Lightroom to auto correct for the lens that you're using? You want to tick that on.
Okay.
And then using the manual skewing device, see if you can get these to go straight across. When you tick the auto correction, lens correction on, it might fix a little bit of this because it tends to do that. Fix a little bit of it, but I still feel that the thing is just slightly crooked. So it'd be an easy fix to make. When you are doing a shot that is this precision based, I mean we are horizontals and verticals, right?
Okay. Yeah.
They are paramount to the picture. So the only other way to do it, of course, would be to do it like on a 17 and let them really skew to the side, you know.
Okay.
So then it doesn't look wrong. It's like tilting the horizon 5 degrees will always look bad. Tilting it 30 degrees looks like you did, you obviously did it on purpose. So cool.
Okay.
Neat shot, Ann. Well thought out. A lot of work went into that. A lot of work.
Okay. Thank you.
Andres.
Good morning, Mr. Jannati. How are you?
Very good, Andres. Wow, look at this shot. Is this an exploding water balloon?
It is, it is.
Where's the balloon?
The balloon was gone. I tried to get the moment when it cracks open, and then you see both the balloon and the splash. And I couldn't really make it. Even when I was bursting the balloon with a pin in one hand, and then I had the shutter release in my other hand, I just couldn't get the right precise moment. I didn't have any special sensor triggers, anything like that. So So I got the splash, but the balloon was gone. So and I was running out of balloons as well, and I had to try it a couple of times. And at the end, I just decided to change the color of the splash itself, and then sell it as a red balloon.
So you actually were lucky enough to catch this water holding its shape after the balloon had actually blown out of the picture.
Exactly. That was like just a little bit of a tiny bit left. So and it wasn't even red anymore because I ran out of the red one. So I ended up getting this shot with this very tiny little deformed small piece of yellow balloon on the edge of the shot. And I was like, oh look, it's not gonna cut it. You know, you have to work around it in another way. And then I tried a couple of different versions, and then I composited, like I used an original shot with another splash shot, and then a full balloon shot. But it was just too confusing. It was too much information there, and it wasn't obvious enough that it was a splash. So I kind of forgot about that, and then I just used a single shot, a single frame, and then I moved it around a bit. I used the very same frame and recomposited, or basically recopied within the same image. So I recomposited the same image on a couple of occasions to certain parts of the image. So if it makes sense. So I used one single shot. I copied copied it a couple of times, and I used certain different parts of the splash to create this full looking splash.
Wow.
I used the softbox to shoot the water, so the bottom part, if you have a closer look, you can actually see the bottom part was missing. So yeah, around there. So that whole part was kind of missing. And if you move your cursor a little bit further, just a little bit further up, then yeah, that's around there when my shot ended. A little bit down there. That's where the shot ended. Yeah, that's around there. So everything that you see from that line downwards is coming from other parts of the image. If you have a look at the upper left part of the image, or upper left part of the balloon, yeah, just right there, that's the exact same part of the shot that you see in the lower right part. All right, so that's the very same part that you see in the lower right part. The lower left part is the very same part again, but I twisted it a bit, so it looks more natural. It looks like it's spinning a little bit. And so on. The very top part, for example, that comes from the lower part. So I just kept on turning it upside down and then finding parts which I could actually fit into the whole idea. So
wonderfully done. This was a lot of work.
It did take me a couple of hours there.
Yes.
It was worth it at the end. I really want to learn to work with splashes, because I can see how much they actually use it in product photography as an addition to the product, and whether we think it's cliche-ish or not, clients, as far as I could see, that's something clients like and want. So I see it in so many different adverts, that this milk splash, it's water splash, it's this splash, that splash. I want to be able to use, not only shoot these splashes, but I want to be able to transfer them and then move them around and twirl them and distort them in a certain way, so I can use it in my photography efficiently.
Wonderful. Wow, fantastic. Just fantastic. So much work went into it, so much thought. That's all anyone could hope for from doing this. This is very, very clever, very well done as far as the concept of it. It's super. It's just super. Well done.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Wow. Ian, I just got your image and I put it in. Hold on before we come back to this. I'm going to refresh. We got Ian. So if you are out there, I believe, Ian. Yes. So I got your image and I inserted it and it's right up there. So do not let me forget to get up there and get those images. We got pads up there as well. So where was I? I was right at this one. Is Amy with us today? Amy. Oh, no. Wow. Again, super clever, super interesting, lovely light kind of. I got hot spots here. I love that in the light. The balloons look great. These are all deflated balloons and make really nice composition. The composition is beautiful here, Amy. I think you did a good job with the light source, and the idea is just great. Beautifully done, well done, and well concepted. This one I chuckled at. This is so funny. This is again one of those kind of flat approaches. Tim Sebring. Tim. Oh, Tim's not here today. Tim, nice shot. I wish the light wasn't straight on though. Even though the straight on light does give us a kind of a feeling that there's a couple of things here, Tim, that I would caution. Where it changes here off the hold board, whatever you want to call this board that's got the holes in it. But we don't need to see that gray there. We don't see enough of it that matters. And we don't see enough of it at the top that matters. So I ought to just crop that off. The other thing is, it just seems to be a little off kilter. Like it's not just quite straight. When you're going to shoot something like this, you've got to make it perfect. The hammer's kind of leaning a little crooked because the whole shot seems to be, well, the hammer's just leaning crooked. I can see that. That's part of the deal. But it doesn't help that feeling. It also feels that we're not really quite in front of this board. It feels like we're shooting a little bit to one side. The reason I say that is I can see this side of this box and this side, but I can't see the other side. So that tells me I'm a little left than be perfectly oblique. For this kind of shot to really work, you've got to be as oblique to it as possible. Absolutely perfect to it. And looks like maybe the lens was a little wide. See, those seem to be straight across there, but then when we get down here, obviously not straight across. That little bit of difference can really make a big difference. I think it's more that we're not coming straight on than the fact that we're just a little bit crooked. Not much crooked, but just a little bit. Then the light coming straight on is doesn't throw enough shadow to make this interesting, or as interesting as it could be. And it sounds like we just lost a red balloon somewhere. Cool. Good shot, Tim. And fun shot. We got the reds that match and everything. That's kind of cool. The only real shots on here, only real color on here is, the red jumps out. Got a little bit of yellow and blue, but the red jumps out. All right. Balloon for dinner. Tammy.
Yeah.
Balloon for dinner.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's that?
Is that me making all that noise? Let me just see. Did that help? I got away from my computer. That helps. Okay.
That helps.
Okay.
Okay. So I see your softbox. Beautiful softbox. We got a big white board to the right. You lit up your silverware really nicely. Is that
Thank
the
you.
box?
That was difficult. That's the whiteboards. I had to move those around and get those because they just kept reflecting the black nothing.
The black, yep.
So.
Yep. And that really helps sell the shot too, doesn't it?
I was pleased. I liked there's a little bit like of a curly kind of thing on the fork, but I left that there because it gives it it's bendy and it
Sure.
has a shape.
Yeah. If you take it all out, if you just like with a watch, if you take it all out, then you've lost the fact that it's shiny. It could be painted white at that point. So yeah.
But this is an ode to dieting.
So all you get's a big bag of hair, huh?
Exactly. That's, there you go. There's your diet. Just peel off the skin and hot air.
Yeah.
Like most diets.
Yeah. The placemat is perfect. Everything is so flat.
It's a huge tablecloth just spread out on the floor.
Everything is so flat. We've just got this blue. We've got the flatness of the forks. We have the kind of flatness of the balloon. It's kind of red. We got some highlights on it. And then we have this, decorative place setting here.
Yeah, and that was the plate. The square plate was it's very shiny, and I wanted to keep some shine on it to show that it's shiny, but still have the color there and the decorative parts. And that was a fun challenge.
Not as easy as it looks, is it?
No.
Doing a shot like this looks, and again, this is that very, like I was looking at, we were just looking at Adam Voorhees's work. This is that very flat, shoot straight down on it. Not a lot of accent colors, not a lot of let's throw shadows and stuff. Very flat, very, very modern approach. I call it modern. To me, it looks very modern.
I wanted bold colors but I tried to keep the balloon looking somewhat round. I don't know if I succeeded in that, but I wanted everything to be kind of flat, like you said. But I wanted the balloon to have some shape.
I think the balloon looks round. One of the things that shows us it's round is when the specular is curved.
Yeah.
We know that it's round. Our brains do. And then you've got a highlight on this side, and it's not highlighted on that side.
Yeah.
So that gives us dimension to it. Somebody wrote a book called Lighting for Texture, Dimension, and Contrast. I can't remember who that was. I remember it was really good, though.
I think, I just can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. I think it does subject-centric lighting, too.
Something like that, Who knows? So many of them out there. Nicely done. Ian.
Hello there.
Hi. You didn't say anything about not seeing your picture. You gave up, huh? You said, "Oh, it's not there."
No, I've actually had a few internet problems this evening. I keep ducking in and ducking out. So I thought I was talking to you, and actually I was talking to my laptop and no.
Are you still there? Ian?
I need you.
There you are.
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You faded out there for a moment.
Yeah, as I was saying, I have some internet problems. I think things are disappearing. This was a trip to Cambodia. I was wandering around some temples. I had a red balloon in my hand, and I thought, what can I do with it? And so I had to go at 3 different setups.
Only a photographer is going to walk around Cambodia with a red balloon. And now we have 2 of them.
I did get stopped a few times and asked why.
We have Jorge invading dentist offices with his red balloon, and you're going into ancient temples with your red balloon. These are very clever and really fun. Was the red balloon an idea before this assignment? Is this something that you had done before, or are you currently over in Cambodia now?
No. This was just for the assignment.
Really? So are you?
No. This was for the assignment. I was in Cambodia when it arrived.
Really? Wonderful.
No. I'm back in I'm in the UK now. I just happened to be. I was in Cambodia at that time.
That's neat. Well, that turned out pretty cool. What is this? Is this a part of the sculpture, or is that a beer can?
I think you'll find that's a vase with some plantation in it.
That's the plants are in it. Okay.
Offering.
All right.
Plant offering.
Plant. Oh, okay. These are great. Boy, the light is just really nice. And what are you using? Are these like fast lenses or?
They're reasonably fast lenses. I can't recall all the detail. I was probably shooting about f5.6, so not that fast.
Fun stuff. Wow, and to be in Cambodia when you get the assignment, neat, very neat. Was that a business trip or a
vacation?
Vacation. Cool. Neat. I love that. I love it.
Thank you.
And let's get up here. Should have gone to the next picture, but we didn't. We have, let's go over and do. And one of the very few portraits with this. This is real fun. Thad, tell us what you did here.
It was I hate to say this. It's a self-portrait. I had done excuse me, I had done something with a Halloween theme about a year ago, and I wanted to do something similar just to see what kind of reaction I'd get to it. And the reason I went with that was because I thought, what can you tie in with a red balloon that's also going to be a portrait? So that's what we came up with.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, really well done. Big softbox on the right.
Yes.
And then is there a light on the left, or is that, what am I seeing here? Is this
Yes.
reflection on the white background? No, I can see there's one in there.
Yes, there is one on the background and another one. That was an umbrella.
Okay. Yeah, you see how the umbrella presents differently?
Yes.
And always, this is something I always remind people, you'll never see it better than right here in this balloon. Umbrellas always have a hot center. And you use that to advantage. That's why you got to make sure the center of your umbrella is aiming at what you want to be the brightest, because it will be slightly brighter. And this balloon just really shows it perfectly. Perfectly. Kept a nice white background. Did you like that with a softbox umbrella? How'd you do that?
That was an umbrella.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an umbrella too.
Yeah, and you kept your whites up, white on white. Yeah, very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Always look, I mean, white on white, black on black. That's where the rubber hits the road, so to speak. I did want to look at this photograph because this photographer was not in the other assignment, so I wanted to get a critique of it. This is very clever as well. Whose shot is this? Daniel Jafari. This is a really clever photograph, Daniel. It's you've got just enough color. It's not you let her remain a little bit muted color. The reds are muted, and then the rest is black and white. And then I like the fact that he kept some color back here in the graffiti. That's pretty cool. This is an interesting, I don't know if it's a composite or not. It's an interesting photograph on a lot of levels, but it starts to, what I used to call solarize. In analog photography, this looks like, it's got light had hit it during development, which darkens your highlights, kind of takes it down. So there's a lot of things happening in the picture. Daniel, you put a lot of work into it, and I wanted to let you know that I appreciate how much work you put into it. Cool shot. So that's it for our Saturday morning. Any questions, any comments, anything you want to go back to? We have a little bit of time, so we can certainly do that. Anyone at all? All right, everybody wants to get out and shoot some today, so let's do that. I hope everybody is a subscriber to my newsletter that I send out every Sunday, because there's always fun stuff in it, always links to stuff I've found. I found some very cool stuff for this week. So if you're not a subscriber, just bounce over to Lighting Essentials and sign up. We don't try to sell you anything. We don't sell your name on the list to anybody unless they're offering a really lot of money. But that never happens. So you're safe there, and I send it out every Sunday, and it's really something I enjoy doing. So if there's any questions, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll get this video posted right away. Thanks, everyone.